What's up guys, Joe Parfanuk here and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to get into my top 3 categories to get into when selling on Amazon in 2024. My recommendation to you is pick one of these 3 categories to get started in, and that can be something that you relate to most in your life. Let's say you have a kid and you know all the best-selling grocery snacks that sell well on Amazon. That is a great place to start. Or you have a teenage daughter who knows all the best-selling makeup that does really well on Amazon. That's another great place to start. The riches will always be in the niches, and that's why you should just pick one and then eventually begin to branch out into other categories. And not only that, this is going to make it a lot easier to understand how to start selling on Amazon. Rather than trying to sell anything and everything, it's just going to make it too complicated. With that being said, let's get into the video so you can see my top 3 categories to sell on Amazon in 2024. And as always, if you got value, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get into it.
What's up guys? Welcome to the tutorial for my top 3 categories to sell on Amazon in 2024. So I put together 3 sample products for each category, and these are products that did really well in the past, and you can try to identify products that look like this now and hop on them because these are really like some gems that moved very, very well in the past and should, if you find something similar to this, it should move very well now. So we have the beauty category product here. This is a disco eye stick. This sold really well last year. This is a great example of a typical beauty product. It is like 20K in sales rank, which is amazing for beauty. Typically the products you'll find will be around 10,000 to 120,000 in sales rank. You want to try to stay under the 120K rank. Otherwise, it's going to have some slow moving stuff. And every category is different, so keep that in mind. We're going to show you a grocery product in a second, and that's the one that you want to stay under around 70 to 80K in sales rank because it is a slower moving category. So get familiar with each category and the velocity of the products in that category. But beauty and household are generally fast moving categories, so you can stay under 120K sales rank and be relatively okay. So this is the grocery product here. We have Kachava. This was an example of a really great selling product in the past. And, it sells 5,000 times a month, 2K in grocery. So this is selling really, really fast. This is a textbook, amazing grocery product. You're not always going to see these types of products every day. You're going to see, products that are 30, 40K in sales rank that you can sell 10 to 20 units a month. These are really the gem products that you should try to look for. These are the types of products that will make up around 80% of your sales, whereas, the 30, 40, 50K sales rank products will probably make up more like 20% of your sales. So that's really the Pareto principle. It definitely works for Amazon where, your top selling products make up a lot of your revenue. And that's really just what I'm trying to get at there. So this is the household product. This is a great selling product in the past. The brand was actually on the listing. I didn't really see much. I'll dive deeper into it in a second, but I didn't really see much of an IP sign here. Sometimes you can sell on the listing with the brand on it. You just want to be extra careful, especially if you're a newer seller. You want to make sure that you are doing your due diligence with the keeper graph and making sure you don't see any signs of IP complaint. But I'll dive into that in a second. So let's go back to the original product we had here. So this is the beauty category, and this is a textbook, amazing keeper graph here. This is what you should be looking for. Obviously, it's not always going to look like this, but very stable keeper graph. And it was selling like so fast, under 20K in sales rank. And this was definitely an example of a really great product to sell in 2022. This is what you should be looking for going into 2024. So we see that the buy box is relatively stable. It's jumping up, and you can sell it for 34 at one point. And yeah, you want to try to target that higher price when you are looking at a keeper graph like this. You want to try to be selling it for 34, not 31. And if we dive into one thing I really like to look at, I want to show you guys this. So I look at the offers and the buy box statistics. I think those are super important. We want to look at including historical offers and zoom out. You can see a year chart here. So if you look out to the year, you can see that these products are selling relatively quick. Like people are buying their stock and they're selling out. So someone bought 18 units, they sold through them. And someone bought 47 here, they sold through that entire stock. You want to be careful because sometimes it can be in and out of FC transfer. But, this type of stuff looks like it's selling through to me. If you zoom in, you can really see that the stock is just going down over time. They're selling through their units. This is a very fast-moving product. And this can give you an idea of like how many to buy. I just wouldn't take it with a grain of salt because, things go in and out of FC transfer. So if you started with a test buy of like 20 to 30 units on this back in the day, that would have been a really good safe test buy because it was a very fast-moving product. And we got this one here. You can really zoom in and see, like, they sold through 100 units. So this thing really, really moved. This is a sign of something you want to see where it goes down like a roller coaster. That's a sign that this is definitely moving. But here's an example of like it going in and out of FC transfer. So like it went up from 40 to 61, and then, it's just cycling around in the stock count. That's just going in and out of FC transfer, or they restocked. I also like to see that they replenished it. So like you can see here, obviously we can only go out to a year, or maybe we can go out to all. We actually can go out to all. So if you go here, you can see this seller here kept replenishing this product. So this is a really good replen for them. And this is something to really look for. They bought 30 units. I think they initially came on with a test buy of around 20, and they bought 30. And then they went for the deep haul. So that's kind of how you should strategize your product buying. Go for 20 to 30 test buy. And then if it really sells, you can try to replen it deep on the second or third try. So they went to 100 and 100 here. So you can really see that this was a really good replenishable for someone for a very long period of time. So that's just an example of what to look for in types of products. And then you can go to the buy box statistics. Obviously now there is a seller, ASL Beauty. They're probably just a authorized distributor of the product. But, there was a pretty well-distributed buy box percentage back in the timeline here. You can see before they became an authorized seller, people were getting their share of the buy box. A bunch of people were getting sales. And it's hard to tell with this one because, they're the authorized seller. They've been the authorized seller for the last year. So that's why they have such a high percentage of the buy box. And it's crazy that people have sold out now, but people are still in the listing back here. Now they're pretty much the only seller in the listing. So obviously it makes sense they're getting a portion of the buy box. But you want to analyze it from around this range here. So we have the next one here. We have Kachava, which was a really great selling product. People are still buying it now, but I would be very careful of buying this product because there's an IP complaint. I've showed this before on my channel, but this is an IP complaint right here. So this is something, if you're selling with the brand on the listing, Kachava is not on the listing, but this is an example of an IP complaint. So it went from 38 to 23. They kicked 15 sellers off at once. There's no sign of like the sales rate dropping or anything or the price dropping. So this is definitely just an IP complaint right here. And also it pops up an IP alert. So they file IP alerts now, IP complaints now. And I don't know if they have recently, but this is also like a restricted. So something happened with the product where it's like a safety complaint or something like that. And they removed the listing for a week. So this is another red flag that would make me not want to buy this right now. But this was a really great selling product. This is a really good example of something super fast moving in the grocery category. So this sold really well in 2022 and early 2023. If we zoom in on the graph here, we can see, it was selling for $93, getting it for around 53 or something like that. So it's selling really, really well. Very stable keep a graph. No signs of IP complaints until right here. Bam. That's when it happens. But this is an example of something that you should be looking for because this is just a very, very stable keep a graph. You're getting some buy box movement here too. So you can get sales at a higher price as well. So you can sell it for 94, 95 rather than selling it for 87 like this person down at the bottom. So this is just a very good example. And if we go into the offers tab again, we can also take a look and include historical offers. Zoom out a little bit probably. We're going to want to see what's going on here. So the sellers are definitely selling through their stock because they're just leaving the listing. One thing I noticed is that not a lot of sellers are going deep. So this makes me think that the website didn't really let you order too much, which sometimes happens. I think some people came on here with like 10 to 15. And that's like the max that people are really coming on with. So someone came on with 11. They sold through their stock. Someone was able to get 24 units. They ended up selling through their stock. So this is a good sign. This product was really moving and people were just selling through their stock here. So that's something to look for in the buy box statistic here. So this is actually the 30-day right now. And Kachava is on the listing now. So this makes me a little concerned to even buy this to this day. But this is an example of a very good distribution of buy box. We see 11, 6, 5, 4%. This is getting distributed among a lot of sellers, so people are getting their share. And it sells a lot of times a month, so it doesn't worry me that, if I get a 5% buy box share, I can sell a significant amount of units if it's selling 5,000 a month. So this is an example of a really great grocery product, and this would have done really well back in the day. Obviously now it would avoid it, but this is something that you should be looking for. Now, obviously not all products are going to be sub 5K rank in grocery. These are definitely a golden product, a golden opportunity to really jump on if you find it. And don't go test buy 5 units if you can order 20 to 30, in this type of scenario. Obviously, this one is harder to buy. So, it's understandable to only buy 5 to 10 if they start to cancel you. So we have this one here. This was a great product. So Juvenon was selling the product. They ended up filing IP complaints, I believe, somewhere around here. I think they did something with transparency barcodes. That's why you're only seeing which means that you need to be like an authorized seller to sell the product. Then if you are an authorized seller, they'll give you like a barcode. That's something you can't really get without brand direct access. But before they started doing that, this was a really good keep a graph. It was 20 to 30 sellers. It really hit 60 at one point. And honestly, it was still profitable even at $36. But I guess when all these sellers came on, Juvenon said enough is enough, and they kicked off a bunch of sellers or restricted the listing from sellers. But this was an example of a product that did really well, even with the brand on the listing. You were able to sell it for 40 for the longest time. Really good sales rank, sub 5K in household. So this is selling super, super well. Under 120 is a good sales rank for health and household. So anything you find under like 20K, that is a fast mover. That's something you want to test like 15, 20, 30 units of. So yeah, and then this one was, like I said, 5K in grocery. Under 75K in grocery is a really good number to say under 80,000 maybe. Around that range is like 80 to 100 sales per month. So yeah, going back to this product here. So, very fast moving product. And if we dive into the data, the offers tab, and the buy box statistics, these are the two I would really definitely recommend taking a look at. So if we include historical offers, which I didn't know if I mentioned it before, but it will also just pull up every single seller that's been on the listing in the last 365, or the life of the listing, actually. So we're looking back here. So this is showing, if we zoom in, we can see they sold through. This is a very fast mover. They came on with 14. They ended up coming on with 28. So they replenished this product. That's a good sign of replenishability here, that they're not really canceling too heavy. This person sold through 12. This person sold through 12. So people were selling through their stock. Very good sign. Someone came on with 35. Hard to tell. It looks like they did sell through their stock. They might have replenished here. But, this one I showed before is a really good example of like replenishability here. That's something to look for on the chart. But everyone sold through their stock. So this was definitely a fast-moving product and something I would have recommended buying 15, 20 units of as an initial test buy. So, yeah, great product here, though. It looks like a lot of replenishability. Someone bought this multiple times over, and everyone sold through their stock at the end of the day. So, yeah, someone came on with 6. They came on with 35. They were just definitely replenishing it. So you can get a good idea of how many to buy. Take it with a grain of salt, like I said. Don't go buying 35 units because it says they had 35 stock here. Dig deeper into analysis, dig deeper into their test buy. What were they thinking? They bought 6, so that could be a good test buy, but maybe 6 to 15, 20 would be a good test buy in my opinion of this product if we were buying it back in the day. So yeah, and the last thing we got to do is dive into the buy box statistics. So hard to tell because Juvenon has been selling this for most of the year, but it looks like people were getting the buy box. So obviously they have 83%. This is also factoring the time that they've been the only seller on the listing. So it's a little bit inflated, but people were getting the buy box back in the day. There was some distribution, and it's also selling 5,000 times per month. So even if you can get 1% of the buy box here, you can sell a significant portion of units. That's one thing to pay attention to. And also it's a variation. This is another thing I'll always check. So you can tell here that this listing, this is a new thing Amazon has put in. So there's a little bonus for you guys. Make sure you configure the columns and hit bought in the last month. You can see how many times this listing was bought in the last month. This is Amazon's data. So this is something you see at the top of the screen. 6K were bought in the last month. And you can see this for all the variations. So this will give you an idea if this variation is selling or not. That's a little bonus for you guys. But yeah, these are examples of 3 great products to sell on Amazon. And, you know, the reason why these 3 are so good, beauty is very fast moving. The return rate is usually around 5% or less. And, you know, you can usually replenish it and find a lot of fast moving products in that category. Groceries, really good because there's no return rate. It can be pretty fast moving if you get in that under 10K sales rank. And yeah, it's a great model for beginners as well because, you know, you have a lot of products that are like lower priced. This isn't a rare example of a product that was selling for $90 in the grocery category, but usually you're going to find stuff that are like $20 to $30 buy cost or no, sale price. So the buy cost will be like $15 or $10. So it's a lower risk for you guys starting out. So groceries is one I really recommend to beginners as well. And health and household is low return rate, super, super fast moving category, probably one of the biggest categories on Amazon. And it is just a great category all around to sell in lots of websites that carry these types of products, lots of different brands. There's a lot of opportunity in all 3 of these categories, but this one I think is a great one as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this video helped you guys understand the top 3 categories to begin to sell on Amazon in 2024. And as always, if you got value, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one.